reading practice, right? This helps you build up vocabulary, learn new words, learn framing of sentences, and yes, of course, you get new ideas, right? So, we are going to read some quotes from Sacred Space by Lao Tzu. So, when you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you, right? No comparisons, no competition, you gain respect. Be yourself, right? Then we have a lovely article, Neural Networks of Restraint and Introspection by Deepak Ranade. So let's go through this. The human brain, particularly the neocortex, is anthropologically the latest upgrade. The frontal lobes have blessed mankind with the faculty of abstraction, to perceive the intangible. It has also blessed us with the power of restraint and the benediction of discretion. Restraint is one of the most powerful tools when coupled with discretion. It is a self discipline that largely reins in the most primitive fight or flight response. This response was primarily a protective mechanism that addressed more physically demanding situations in prehistoric times. The fight, flight, fright response has progressively worked more to the detriment of humans as they evolved. Today, dealing with challenges, problems, and trying circumstances is a daily reality, and the more primitive responses each time have transformed physiology into pathology, lifestyle ailments afflicting even the youth and the demographically productive age groups. The ability to remain equanimous in the most adverse circumstances is largely untapped. The power of restraint to not give in to primal impulses and minimize vacillations of the unbridled mind is the need of the hour. Transcendental practices such as meditation provide deeper insights into realizing one's true nature. They go a long way towards minimizing the misconception of doership and, by extension, the ego. Studies on the effects of Yoga Nidra on the default mode network have revealed significant alterations in its activity. The default mode network is the neural network that is active only in the brain's resting state. The DMN is associated with introspection, self referential thought, memory, future imagining, and social cognition. The medial prefrontal cortex is tasked with generating and introspecting the sense of self. So we have user with us. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our channel. We are doing reading practice here, right? It is active when the mind is at rest and typically deactivates when the brain is engaged in demanding, externally oriented tasks. This network is the hallmark of the human brain that conjures up varying perceptions of the self. Okay, she's saying my mandate also include weird bugs. Okay. Self-referential awareness, a consciousness that's conscious of being conscious. An awareness that doesn't require mediation by intelligence. An awareness with the wondrous ability to disrobe itself of its misconceptions. Relaxation, introspective techniques effect a gradual functional evolution by restraining the instinctive responses to developing a far superior cognitive state, the state of being a dispassionate observer, right? Spiritual terminology, such as Sthitprajna, may seem high sounding, but it implies a shift from being a participant in this game of life to becoming a mere witness, right? So we have Farah with us. Hi, how are you, Farah? Welcome to our channel. So we are doing English reading practice, right? Overcoming the identification of the self from a limited mind body entity to that limitless sense of just being. The paradox of using the capability of self restraint and introspection to realize one's true nature, being that of unrestrained, boundless bliss. The growing impact of artificial intelligence, which is predominantly computational, can never be self cognitive, right? Self cognition is a unique human attribute. The earlier and faster we exercise this discretion to realize our true nature, the better it is for our future. Mankind stands at a crossroads facing a life challenging choice either to use our higher faculties and intelligence to indulge our false sense of self, ego, or to deploy it to investigate our true nature. The choice to use this evolutionary upgrade will determine our destiny, extermination, or salvation. Right? So we have Julio with us saying reading well. Okay, thank you so much. So, any word you are not able to get the meaning, you can let me know. Otherwise, we proceed with new articles. Right? So, this is another article. Why that man wasn't for me. Right? So this is an article by Mila. Okay, so let's read this out. Last week, a neighbor asked me for love advice. Right, she is writing. Because of my very recent divorce, I was surprised. Isn't it a terrible idea to seek such answers from someone with my family status? But after thinking it over, I do have a rather precious collection to share. A collection of red flags I ignored. Watch out for these if you are contemplating walking around the fire at a big fat wedding, right? Why do certain men marry at all? See, they won't confess this openly, but if you manage to pour some truth serum into their jaljeera, a significant number might make a scandalous confession, right? So there are some reasons. Then we have the sock syndrome. There are some things. The Bollywood con, then Mummy Ji and Astrologer Ji, they force them, right? Then avoidance maxing. So these are all the reasons she has discussed in this article, right? Now we go on to read some quotation, right? I like this quote very well, okay? For anything worth having, one must pay the price, and the price is always work, patience, love, self sacrifice. So, if anything important you want to do in life, you need to add work, patience, love, and self sacrifice to that, right? So this was today's session. You stay tuned to our channel. You can subscribe our channel and you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. We will help you out in increasing your vocabulary, in like improving your English, interview preparation, personality development. So every day you are going to learn something good from our channel. Okay. So thank you for joining today's session. Have a nice day.